you?
I'm good, man.
How did you
I'm
just
good.
feel about your performance?
I felt good. I haven't performed that song in at least a year, 2 years maybe, but yeah, it felt good.
Part of what you said in after your performance was that you did it in 2017 and it's still relevant today.
Oh yeah.
How does that make you feel?
I mean, it's kind of sad, but progress isn't a happens in 1 year, happens in 2 years, happens in a day. It's not like quick. Progress takes time. Progress takes generations sometimes, and I think we're making progress, but I mean, we're just taking our time.
Okay, so for those that don't know you or that this is their first time gonna be hearing you, can you introduce yourself and let them know who you are, where you from, and what you're repping?
Oh man, who am I? Nah, I'm Jay Sinatra. I spell it with a C, not a S. So when you do Sinatra, when you type it into Google or whatever, just JCINATRA. You'll find me pretty much on everything: SoundCloud, um, IG, Twitter, Facebook, all that. My music's on Spotify, Apple Music, everywhere. Um, I'm from Hyde Park, Boston. Um, and yeah, what I represent is really just the youth, like making music in this day and age. What everybody's trying to do, like just trying to have their own lane, carve their own lane, find their way. That's what I'm doing.
So, so I know you. I've seen you in many different places, and every time I feel like I learn something new. You're like a multi instrumentalist, right? Like you're like how what? So what do you consider some of your
I don't want
lane?
to gas myself.
Nah, so do it because this is the time I think we want to know.
Nah,
Tell us.
I mean, my all right. So I originally in middle school I started playing bass, the electric bass, and that was my principal instrument. I ended up going to high school for that, performing arts, Boston Arts Academy. I just kind of stuck with that. I didn't really go the college route because I hated school in high school, and I my brain was not there, and so I ended up just kind of focusing on music more. I started hanging out with a lot of people that were, like on the scene, get up and coming, and I'd play in, what do you call it, like I would just play gigs for people, freelance, and I would just do little things. Then I kind of got into the rapping game. Like as I was getting out of high school, I got into the rapping game, and I got into like um, making my own art as opposed to playing for other people. And I really found like it's my niche, that I was good at writing songs. I'm good at, not great at singing, but I'm good at carrying a melody and putting all this together and then making my own thing. So that's kind of just where I took it from playing bass to now I'm like the artist. And I do little things. I produce for myself. Sometimes I play keyboard. I'm good with a drum machine, not really a drum set, but you know what I mean? Like I can do a little of everything. So
So how do you feel like I was wondering if they're all pieces of you and then certain people like certain pieces, like how does that make you feel? Like if one day you're really feeling like a rapper, someone's like, yo, I love your vocals, or one day people are like, yo, I love your rapping, like they're all you. How do you digest that feedback?
I, I don't even know how. I mean, I digest it, I guess, by I I hear everything everybody says, but I kind of always do it for myself. At the end of the day, I learned early on that I should put myself first when it comes to making the music and what I want to hear and all of that. Like, so when I make music, I kind of just make all the things I want to hear at once. So there's a little singing in it, there's rapping in it, there's all the things that I love about music, and then when other people give me feedback, it kind of just reaffirms how I feel. Like it's not really like I'm like, oh, they said they like singing, so I'm gonna just sing on the next. I'm not gonna make a album full of ballads. You know what I mean? Like I don't just sing, I don't just rap, I don't just do anything. I always do what I want to hear, and then any feedback is just well appreciated.
So you also mentioned when we were talking, you mentioned about the way that you were able to be around up and coming artists and that you had like this crew that kind of influenced and helped with your music. Do you think that going to a performing arts school helped mold that network, or do you feel that you've taken that network and extended, or can it be A and B and maybe a C?
Going to a performing arts school definitely made me I would say, uh, like, I don't have a preference. You know what I mean? For people, when it comes to people, I don't have a preference. I can be around this group of people and I can be around that group of people in the same day, and it doesn't clash. I can be around people who are just straight like they like hood rapping, like they like Young Jeezy or who's the new people, NBA Young Boy or something, like, you know what I mean? They like that, and then I can also be around people that are gonna listen to like Paul McCartney or something. Like I can be around the two groups and it doesn't phase me. So like going to an art school definitely molded my brain in a way that I digest interactions with people in a different way than I think most people would. Some people get it out of their comfort zone. I don't have a comfort zone. I don't know what my comfort zone is. I'm always exploring it and I'm always expanding it. So that's how I've been like since maybe 10th grade, and I've just been going more in that direction of being free with how I feel about the art, how I feel about the people I'm around, the people that are influencing me at the moment. If you can influence me to do one song and somebody else can influence me to do another song, and they could end up on the same album back to back. And
Got it.
who knows? Like, it's just all up to how I feel with the people that I'm around and how they making me feel.
So speaking about that, about how you feel and the people around you. So one of the things that we're trying to do with our platform with Misso Brown is make sure that we're focusing on artists that are connected to their purpose and like looking at the impact that they're having in society or in the world. How do you feel you're doing that for yourself as an artist, and what things around you are helping you push that impact?
Um, I guess if I just want to be, I feel like music is one of the main like history, like it's one of the main things that kind of writes history. I can always hear history through music, and history is happening right now. History is always happening. It's what we're doing right now is history. What happened last week is history. It's always happening around us. So I feel like I just want to be one of those conveyors to the next generation, to the generation after that, of what's happening right now. So even if I'm not making all my music, say I'm not making a political song, or I'm not making a song that has to do with like a certain um a group of people, a group of um like artists or activists or anything like that. I could just be making anything, but it'll always be pinpointed back to what I'm going through right now. And I think that that just helps me to like see myself as a conveyor of history more than like any specific person. Like I don't need to be MLK or anything like that to make an impact on somebody's life. Somebody can hear my song and still feel like it got them to get up that day and start doing something that they weren't doing yesterday. You know what I mean? So like whenever I'm making music, I just try to think of it as history. I try to just put it in that perspective. Like the song that I just performed is from 2017. Performed it today and it felt the same, like it had the same impact on me. It actually had a different impact on me. It was even more powerful now because there's 3 more years of history that have happened in between writing the song and what's happening today, and it still matters. It's like listening to like Marvin Gaye, "What's Going On." I feel what my ancestors felt. I feel what my grandparents felt when they heard that song, and I feel it today in 2020. You would think everything's different, but it's not. Everything just keeps going. So I just try to like stay on that wave. I just do my own thing, and when it comes to making the music, I just I try to think of myself as a writer of history. That's all.
So, with that being said, as a writer of history, we just want to take the time to acknowledge you while you're still alive and tell you that you're a history maker that we appreciate. I'm glad that you had the time to hear with us at Misso Brown. We appreciate you.
Appreciate you.